So when we're founded by the French Catholics in 1718, with the French Catholics, we get the West African slave trade. And up until 1865, with the end of the Civil War, Code Noir rules our streets. Code Noir says 4 things. 1, you are not allowed to punish your enslaved people. That was not out of the benevolence of our hearts. It was because you had to hire someone else to come do that. It created jobs. It stimulated the economy. 2, you had to make sure that your entire household spoke French when we were French, and then Spanish when we were Spanish, and then English when we became American. 3, you had to allow your enslaved people to participate in a secondary form of trade, one where they could eventually buy their way out of slavery. This didn't usually happen. This idea of hope and hard work was very important in maintaining the establishment of slavery here in New Orleans. And then finally, number 4, the expectation was that Sunday was free for worship for every member of the household. So you didn't have to perform as many chores on a Sunday. And if you were baptized, if you were Catholic, the expectation was that you attended Mass over at the cathedral. And if you were not, then you attended catechism over at Armstrong Park, very specifically in Congo Square. And while you had Bible study in the morning, you had the afternoon to continue your studies. But if you were to openly practice your own traditions and beliefs that you brought over from Africa, well, the Catholic Church says that's paganism. You're going to get burnt at the stake or hung for that. But people are very smart. They begin to take what they're learning at Bible study and their beliefs and hide it under the guise of Catholicism. So in New Orleans voodoo, you have this mixing of these 2 cultures. You have the French Catholic traditions, but you also have these other gods and goddesses you begin to see that look a lot like Catholic saints. For example, in New Orleans voodoo, you have these demigods, like a pantheon of little minor gods, and you have them for everything in the world. You have them for love and marriage and travel and happiness, and a lot of these gods begin to look like Catholic saints. St. John the Baptist, which makes sense because he's in charge of water. New Orleans is basically surrounded by water. Papa Legba, the angel of death in voodoo, begins to look a lot like St. Peter holding the keys to heaven. So a lot of the iconography becomes one-to-one. In New Orleans voodoo, you can think that, it's what Hollywood wants us to believe in black magic and witchcraft, but like most other religions, it is about putting good things out into the world and getting those good things back in return.